Coming to our point of discussion, scientific research expenditure in income tax. Now we are going to discuss about what is a treatment of a scientific research expenditure. That term itself is self-explanatory. Scientific research expenditure means what? Any amount of expenditure incurred for the purpose of scientific research. It is coming under this category. Why should we discuss this point? Very simple. If the amount of expenditures incurred for the purpose of a scientific research, then we have to take how, up to what extent, how that amount of a scientific research we spent is eligible for claiming as expenses, and up to what extent we can debit in P&L account. For that purpose only we are going to discuss this point. So very simple. What the amount we are spending is supposed to be the expenses. If it is considered, it should be debited in P&L. Whereas for certain things, some expenses are not considered as the normal expenses. We cannot debit those things in debit side of P&L account. Whereas in this case, any amount of expenditures incurred for the purpose of research is eligible, provided if it is recognized, notified under this category, then we can debit it in P&L. Section 43(4) that defines that the activities for the purpose of extension of knowledge for natural or applied science, including agriculture, animal husbandry or fisheries. So I am contributing the amount, or I am setting up my own research lab for doing this, then I can claim it as the deduction. For example, to say, we know very well Madras Eye Hospital, it is in Egmore. Any amount of contributions made to that hospital, that research, for the purpose of research, I am contributing it to the outsider for doing the research, then it is eligible for claiming as deduction. Then I am setting up my own research division for doing the research. It is in-house research, and any in-house research made under section 35(1) is also eligible, right? And under this category, for section 35(1) in-house research, it is supposed to be the revenue research. Then any amount of revenue expenditure incurred for the previous year, not the revenue research, revenue expenditures incurred for the previous year, then it is eligible to claim as deduction, as expenditure in this current assessment year. See, for the last year, for the year of 22-23, I spent some 1 lakh rupees for the purpose of the research. It is a revenue expenditure. Then it is eligible to claim it as the deduction in the year 23-24. Then revenue expenditure prior to commencement. This is technically defined as, technically called as pre-commencement expenditure, pre-commencement of research. That pre-commencement of research, see, I have started the operations in my research for the year 21-22. Assume, let us take from 21-22 onwards, I am taking it for doing the research. Before 21-22 year, if I spent the amount, say previous year to 21-22, then 21-22, 22-23, this is assessment year 23-24. So we cannot take this year, but prior to the commencement of that research, any of the amount spent is named as pre-commencement expenditure. It is eligible for 3 years. Before the commencement of the research, 3 years any amount made, then we can claim it as deduction. I can debit it in P&L. Simple meaning, I can take it as the expenditure, claim it as expenditure, debiting in P&L account. Take it for P&L account. Then another one is that amount of expenditure incurred for previous year, automatically we can take it in this year if it is provided, if it is eligible. Why we are taking it as eligible? For revenue expenditure, salary is a expenditure, you know very well, revenue category. But I am providing any amount of perquisites provided to the research personnel, then it cannot be, right? Salary paid is eligible. Okay, like that, if the expenditure is eligible, then we can take it for consideration. Not the consideration, we can claim it as a expenditure debit in P&L. Then another one is deductions under the section 35(1). Then for that deduction under section 35(1), any amount of in-house research. See, two things we should know. The amount of expenditure I am contributing it to outsider, and another one is amount of expenditure I am incurring it in my own laboratory. So if I am doing it in my own laboratory, then it is called as in-house research. Whereas just now only I cited one example, I am contributing to other research institute, say Madras Eye Institute, then that is called the contributions made to outsider. Both the things are eligible. Okay, in next class we will discuss about what is called we will have a detailed discussion what is called in-house research, what are the quantum of expenditure. Now I gave you the point of that, what is called a scientific research expenses, what is the revenue expenditure, what is called the pre-commencement expenditure. Next class I will give you the point, then what amount of deduction we can claim, what are all the items we have to consider for claiming the deduction.